This is my first video in the hashtag PAWGUSTArt, PAWGUSTART hashtag event by Creative Arts Collaboration. The theme is animals, and you won't see the animals till my second video. This will be one of three, maybe. Hey everybody, welcome to my video for the Creative Arts Collaboration. It's a hashtag event, and the title of this video will have that hashtag in it when it goes live. The theme for August is animals, and I'm kind of partial to African, the Big Five. I've been to Africa, and I've gone on a what they call a Uchtdorf. No, it wasn't Uchtdorf. Anyway, it was a wild animal preserve, and we got to ride around in the 200-degree heat. But it was not a big game park. It didn't have lions. They were within an hour's drive of Cape Town, which is where we were. So we had to take the best we could get, and that was enough. We saw water buffalo and plenty of giraffe and zebras and wildebeest. But anyway, that's why I decided to do this. And there's another thing that I've had for a long time. Friend of mine dismantled her studio, and this is one of the things she gifted me, and I've just saved it. For some strange reason, I saved it because I didn't want to run out. And when I went online to check about this duct tape aluminum stuff, it was very pricey. But then Shannon Green turned me on to American Sci-Plus, American Science and Chemistry. I don't know. Anyway, it's a place that sells stuff that's you really don't know if you have any need for it. So I bought another roll, and it turns out it's just about the same weight, maybe just a little bit lighter than what I was given. So now I have two rolls, so now I can use it. Okay, got it? And my grand idea may have to be altered because my strips are not big enough for what I had planned. Here's what I had planned. This is a Seth Apter stencil, and I like this shape. This is one that I carved for a Stencil Girl demo. What I was thinking about was taking my African line art, since this is rough and tribal looking, put that in there. However, my tape isn't wide enough. So I can either have a seam in the middle, or I can just do my animal, or this piece of this design has cut marks in it. So if I really want to use this design, I can figure out a way to get the tape. And all I'm going to do, I mean, I can make the tape work. That's what I'm saying. Because these cut marks won't matter if there's a seam in there or not. I've never done this before, other than just a little bit of experimenting I did this morning, and I watched a couple of videos. I've got this little set of tools that I've had. This is by Walnut Hollow. And it comes with, it's inexpensive, it's under $20. Hobby Lobby. It comes with two handles, a pair of metal snips, a little ruler, and all kinds of little tips and design patterns and stuff like that. You can do this with something as simple as a plain stencil and an orange stick that you get from Beauty Supply that they use to push cuticles back with. So you don't have to have special tools. Then I went online and found some black and white line art with designs that I liked. And all that you do to this is to trace it onto your metal with carbon paper or whatnot. And I've got two, let's see, what do I have? I have two lines I liked, one zebra, one giraffe, and one elephant. So I'm going to have to eliminate one of those. which I will do, but I cut 4 pieces of paper that are close to the size of my stencil here, if I do that. Then I arranged them on the cover of a journal I made. So they could fit like that. And then I would have room to come back around and make some metal tiles for the cover of this journal. Now I'm going to show you this journal real quick, but this is not a demo because it's so daggone easy that you don't really need a demo. What I did was took these paint books from the paint store, and I put enough together to equal 20 pages. And as you all know, the 20 pages is my current thing that I'm really enjoying, is Journaling by Fives by Shannon Green. So I put these together, and if you count the inside and the front, and then you count these, here's more glue. I put matte medium and masking tape. The masking tape will probably end up being covered. But every time there was a fold, let's see, not a fold, but a new book, I put that in there. Some of these fold out, some don't. And this particular one only had one fold out. So when I do a fold out for the journal, I can either paint these 3 pages separate, which is part of my 20, or I could do a complete continuous design. So anyway, that's that book. Now, this is really cool. Don't have to gesso. Anyway, that's enough about that. So I'm going to stop this right now and do a little more thinking and decide what I want to do with my metal, since I'm limited to 1 piece. And I'll be back in a little bit. Okie doke, it's been a day, and I've tried several different methods for doing this with the tools. The, see, what do they call this? Repousse, French for push down. And then, see, the other one is, it begins with a C. Anyway, this deadline is looming on me. I know it's a voluntary thing, but I tried several things. I tried with the fabric, with the paper backing on the tape. I tried it without the paper backing on the tape. Well, then it sticks to everything, so I did this one without the backing and used baby powder to make it not sticky. But I kept losing my place. And finally I thought, okay, what do we have that might work? You know, this metal tooling embossing thing is going to take some practice. And of course I just thought I could just sit down and whip one out. That's Vicki for you. So I pulled out the Cricut Explorer. And I used my heavy cutting, my heavy sticky mat. And I used a piece of chipboard. I had it set for chipboard. The chipboard completely fell apart. So if I had more time, I would probably experiment with putting a piece of shipping tape on top of it. But it didn't cut through all the way, and it was going to be more hassle than it was worth. So then I went back to the drawing board, and I cut the same thing out of a cereal box. Whoops, there's my O and my U. Now the problem becomes, or it's not a problem, it's a challenge. It's an opportunity to figure this out. I want the black parts, and I put a border around this. I want those black parts to be raised. So what I'm going to do this time, well, that I just answered my own question. I'm going to pick this stuff out and get another piece of cardstock or something, and I'm going to put modeling paste in the parts I want raised. So I'm working in reverse. I'm having a real hard time with that too, by the way. But we're going to get there. And so to not bore you guys to tears, I'm going to pick this out and then I'll come back. after several attempts to get, you can't see it, to get my, where is it, line cut, I gave up, which you don't see me do very often, but I just want you guys to know that it happens. So I gave up. I said that already. And I got a lizard, and I'm going to put modeling paste on it, and we're going to make the lizard work. I have Deco Art Media. Turn my yellow light on. Okay, is that better? Deco Art Media modeling paste. And we're going to set this pup up to be ready for tomorrow. I've taped it down. Be a little alteration in my idea, but it's going to work great because I said. I want this fairly thick. Oops, got a booger. Don't want that in there. I want to get this as thick as I possibly can. That's the fun about if I can't share anything more than the idea that it's the process, because I certainly don't have a great affinity for lizards. And I was all set for my jungle theme. But I can still do Aztec symbols and cocopelis and native borders and things like that to finish this off. There's a lot about the Crooked Explorer I don't know yet. I've had it a year, but I don't use it every day. Even my computer skills that I've used for 25 years sometimes disappear, especially when social media stuff changes every day. What worked one day doesn't necessarily work the next. Quit. Now, Voila. Oh, voila. Can you see the texture I got? And I got pretty good depth. And that is going to be perfect for what I want to do. So, she says, bat, bat. I'm going to clean off this stencil that I cut. And I did, by the way, go ahead and pay 99 cents for this. After 4 or 5 cuts with the line, I decided I was tired of trying to make my own work. Especially on this deadline, which is a self-imposed deadline. After several hours on the phone today, clearing something up with Iris, everyone who lives in the U.S. knows her well, and she can sometimes be a pill if the right paperwork doesn't get where it's supposed to be on time. So, Iris and I had a good visit today for about 2.5 hours, and I was trying to cut lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Anyway, all's well that ends well. I'm going to pop the lid back on that, and I will, before I put this back on the shelf, I'll put some plastic wrap in there, and water, and wet wipe. Last month we did this, I spent my entire time doing studio remodel. So I still haven't quite found everything yet. I'm going to move that baby so I don't smear on him. Now, this and the mask will get saved together in one of my envelopes with the hook on it and stored with my stencils. And I may become a lizard fan. Alrighty, over and out. I'll be back. So support August hashtag event designed by Creative Arts Collaboration. Hashtag PaugustArt. PAWGUSTART. There are 200 to 300 videos floating around YouTube with that hashtag, and I would love to see you find some new folks to watch. Please subscribe to my channel and others that you see so we can keep making more quality content.